very excited to get 9 wins for our guys, but more importantly, fans, administration, all the people that support us on a daily grind here. It's pretty awesome to put us in this position. I also want to thank Wrigley, everybody that made this day happen. This is obviously a very special moment. I've been here many times over my life and never in this type of format, so I thought our guys were really excited. We got off the bus yesterday. You could see their excitement and the eagerness to get to this game. They really, I thought all week, we actually have fall break going on our campus, so our guys don't have classes, so I was a little not concerned, but I just kind of harped on them all week about staying in your routine, living your method, doing what we did. And I thought we actually practiced really good Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We want to put ourselves in a good position on this day to get to 9 wins and see where it can go. Just a fun day overall. I don't know what the future holds. I just know that I'm excited about this football team. I think we're a team that can play with anybody in the country. I love the fact that, we got, 3 losses on the year. Penn State takes today and wins their opportunity. We're probably lost to Oregon and Penn State, the 2 teams that will play in the Big Ten championship game. And we lost to a Minnesota team on really a one-play possession game there at the end. The sack fumble obviously still grains in my head, but just a couple things go our way, and I think we're easily in the top 15, maybe in the top 10. So I'm excited to see exactly where we can go and what we can do. A couple guys injured today. Brought Caleb Patterson with us. He just didn't get cleared, so I thought Jaheim Clark really popped up today and did some really good things. Fun to see Malachi Hood pop in, and obviously Dylan Rosiak's been out, but I thought James Cruz, Malachi, Ryan Mead, just a really a good group of kids that have stepped up in a big way, and then JoJo Hayden today especially, stepping in. Seth Coleman has put a lot on Gabe and Alec Bryant, but it was fun to see JoJo come in there and make some plays happen. So with that, open up for questions.
Obviously a career game for Aiden Laughery.
Yeah.
Some thoughts on that?
Yeah. Aiden, he's just one of those guys. I'll go back to even last spring. He really had a really good spring. You could see him getting just a better poise and understanding of what we asked him to do. And then, unfortunately, in that opener on that big run down the right boundary, tweaked his, I believe it was his hamstring, and it kind of took about 3 or 4 weeks. And then again in the middle of the season. So I remember 3 weeks ago, really when we came out of our second bye, I'm like, man, Aiden looks good, and he's been feeling it. That play last week when he did that nice bounce play, I thought today would be a day that could happen. And then, today some of those turned into big home run hits, which kind of been waiting on all year.
Bret, lots of firsts. 9 wins this season, first since 07, 6 wins in the Big Ten, first since 07. What made this group that group to elevate, and what does that mean for your program?
I felt coming into the year, obviously I don't make predictions, but I felt really good about this group. I liked the way we were kind of gelling in fall camp. I thought our returning players, you could see the growth of Luke Altmaier. I thought we were going to be better up front offensively. I thought the addition of Zakari and the growth of Pat, now you have 2 perimeter players that really make a difference. I'm telling you, Colin Dixon, if I could sign five Colin Dixons a year, I'd do it. He's just an incredibly intelligent, very, very disciplined, very talented football player. Hank Beatty just continues to show up. And then on the defense side of the ball, I knew I was going to see growth out of Aaron from year 1 to year 2, and I couldn't be happier with our defensive staff. I thought those guys really have molded and adjusted to what our guys' limitations are and maximize our strengths. And then I got to tell you, between Robbie Disher and Chris Hurd in the special teams world, I thought they've just come in and week out. I thought we've gained an advantage in the special teams battle pretty much in every game, and that's really fun to watch. So I thought we'd have a chance to win 9. It's been a long time since Illinois won 9, like you said, and hopefully this is more of the norm than not. I remember last year walking off that field in this game, it was like doomsday for a lot of people, and it just kind of sat there and smiled because I know what we were capable of doing, and that's it's been good. I think our core returning players have been good, but we really hit gold on some of the portal guys, right? Some of those guys really, see like Dennis Briggs. T-Rod Edwards has been here forever. To see him today, I was able to give him a captainship, and a guy that came in and for 2 years just kind of put in, did his work, and this year has really manifested into something special. It's been awesome.
What were your thoughts on defense in the first half? They held the ball really
Yeah.
When you needed to make stops.
They did a good job down in the red area. We knew what they were. I thought our guys were really wired in. They did change it up and threw both quarterbacks at us. So we kind of, I thought Aaron did a nice job of understanding that moment and playing into it. But again, just another really good, resilient message from our guys. No matter what happens, you still have one next play, right? And then to come away with that missed field goal at the end, I thought that was a good momentum swing, and then to score right away coming out.
Brett, you thought you'd be better last year
Uh-huh.
than it turned out, obviously. So you never know. How much, now that the regular season's over, how much anxiety did you feel, or pressure, or whatever it is, just to deliver on what you thought could happen and what you?
Two different seasons. I would tell you last year I was uneasy in fall camp. I mean, obviously we had a lot of good players, but I just didn't know if we connected the way we did this year in fall camp. I think that's so much that I've learned now through my 16 years. You can have all the talent in the world, but if it doesn't gel the way you want it to and doesn't put it together, it doesn't usually manifest. And unfortunately, it didn't last year. But I knew even during the spring and the summer and the fall, the way these guys just kind of handle their business, not much fazed them. And then anytime you have a guy at the quarterback position that feels good and is very confident, I think that breeds into everybody, offensively, defensively. So, there's pressure every week. My job, man, I mean, it doesn't matter if we're playing Northwestern or the week when we were playing Penn State and Oregon, who were, ranked top 5 in the country. Like, the pressure's got to come from within. If I start responding to pressure that comes from anywhere else, I'll never go anywhere, right? Like, the only pressure you have is the ones that you create yourself. And for me, that motivates me to do certain things, but it doesn't really change what I do.
Brett, obviously one more game left, but huge couple of weeks for the 2025 roster and everything ahead of the signing day portal.
Huge.
What is the key now to build off of this?
Yeah, I mean, this week will be a lot of, I'm sure, conversations, right? Like, I'm not naive. I've told our guys all along that we have 12 guaranteed opportunities together. We've talked a lot about the dash this year, and it's been a lot of fun with these guys, but the world that we know in college football, is going to bring, I'm sure, some conversations this week that, is going to change the outlook of our team. But on the flip side, we don't have many, I don't know if there's a kid that left our program a year ago that has gone anywhere and done anything, right? Like, and nothing against the kids that have left, but like what we do here, I think, and now we have kids, we've actually had some guys reach out to us that would like to come back. It doesn't surprise me, but it's just another great indicator of, I think, what we do, how we do it. I say it all the time, but like Josh, and administration, they allow us to do things with our kids that I know they appreciate. We have guys here that have been in other programs, elite programs, who talk about when they come here, they learn things more in 3 months than they've learned in 3 years somewhere else, right? And that means a lot to me. And it does, I think, indicate what Illinois can become.
This is a rivalry game where you've won 3 out of 4.
Uh-huh.
In the past, you didn't always win this game. Has there been an emphasis to win this in-state rivalry?
Well, yeah, the first thing you have to do is respect them. I think when I got here, I don't think there was respect for Northwestern. They beat them 6 years in a row, and I saw quotes from players that weren't with us really anymore, but I'm like, man, you gotta, before you can beat someone, you gotta respect someone, right? And I had a tremendous amount of respect for Fitz and what he did in his program, and then obviously Coach Braun last year, what he did, it was just, I knew today was going to be, you look this game 2 weeks ago here, 3 weeks ago here in Wrigley against Ohio State. There was a 0-0 first quarter, and they scored first in the second. Now, obviously, kind of got away from them at the end, but this is a very opportunistic team. They're tough. Done a lot of things that we believe in. I think they believe in Northwestern. So, yeah, I respect Northwestern just like I would respect Purdue and the rivalries that we have.
Aiden Laughery is one of those local guys
Yeah.
that kind of made it focus for your team. How nice is it to see him have that kind of game?
It's fun to see the Illinois kids have success. I said it in my opening presser. It wasn't just trying to, win the press conference. I believe it. Great organizations are built from within, right? And I think that Illinois has to be built by Illinois players. And when you got a guy like Aiden Laughery, but you can't just ignore Hank Beatty, right down the street at Rochester. Hank Beatty has probably had just as much of our success here in November as anybody, and those little things mean a lot. I think Josh Kreutz and James Kreutz, they have 2 brothers starting on a team that went 9-3. Obviously, Owen Kreutz in Chicago means a lot to what it is, and they represent his name, represent our name very, very well. So there's just a lot of really good feel good things. I'm super excited to kind of take a deep breath, but I think this week is going to be absolute pandemonium and chaos because I think you're going to start to have some reactions. I know other kids are contacting us, so I know I'm not naive to the fact it's not going on in our building, but I'm excited we'll probably work 2, maybe 3 days this week with our young kids, and that's probably one of the most enjoyable things for me as a coach is to get to work with these guys that maybe they felt we haven't really been paying attention to them, but now they'll get a lot of attention here this week. We won't find out what's going on until next Saturday, or next Sunday. But I'm telling you what, man, I mean it. I know everybody's going to poo-poo it, but Brett's been doing an unbelievable job with these 9-3 teams and the history of what that could possibly be. And listen, I wish we could have gotten one more win, right? But we lost to 2 really, really talented football teams in Penn State and Oregon that are top 4 in the country, and lost to a Minnesota team that was a rivalry game. I think the heartbreaker of the whole thing was just getting that close at the end and not getting in the end zone. But it's a good sign of where we are. I mean, to think that Illinois, from when I came here 4 years ago, is knocking on the door of a college football playoffs is pretty awesome.
Just a couple more here, and we got Luke.
Take
Luke.
with something like it's not totally in your control, but just to get 3 picks, fumble recovery. How did you stack?
Yeah, I thought our guys really were opportunistic. Mac Rossetti's another good. He's kind of northwest central Illinois, I guess he'd be. But Mac is just another great example. He attacked that ball. A couple of ours bounced off our hands. I know Matt had one in the first half, and then there was another one on a tip ball. But I thought our guys defensively attacked the football really, really good. And then I was literally right next to Torrey Cox. I saw him sit down. I knew we were bringing pressure, so Torrey knew it as well. He sat down on that route and expanded it. And here's a guy that came into our system. Really kind of took him at the last minute. Had a scholarship available. I really loved the story of his dad. I had a very good friend of mine, Paul Rhodes, coached his dad and at Pitt, and said, this kid's got the DNA from his father. He's going to be an exceptional kid. And I think the only thing better than 1 T-Cox is to have 2 T-Coxes. So it might be another one coming.
Malachi, some impactful plays from Malachi Hood. Is he
Yeah.
one of those guys that could be building for something for next year, like spring ball?
Malachi's very talented. He really just got kind of cleared right before we started fall camp, so we really didn't know what. And then Arch, who came in the spring, Archie never really been around him, but I think our strength coaches right away during the course of the summer, they're like, Bret, hey, Malachi Hood is probably your most explosive, dynamic, athletic linebacker, right? Just haven't played a lot of snaps, so excited to see him and Cruci really continue to grow and develop. Ryan, we got one more game with Ryan, and then Dylan Rosiak come in the building every day. He's just got a grin from year to year. I know he's crushed that he can't be here, but he sees these guys playing and he's happy for them.
I know we're talking
Joey
about
Lindquist, if you could.
Pat this season, but how do you put what he's done in perspective? I mean, 10 touchdown passes, record with some really good plays.
Yeah.
How do you kind of zoom out and look at it?
I keep looking at your Packer hat at Wrigley Field. That's like, you zoom out. It was really cool seeing up there in the locker room. Brandon Lloyd was here, flew all the way in. I thought that kind of speaks volumes of what Illinois is all about, right? Here's a guy I just met for the first time. Obviously, had seen him compete and play, but he contacted us earlier in the week and said he'd love to come and recognize Pat when he broke the record. He didn't say if, he said when he broke the record. So I gave Brandon the ball, and then he gave the ball to Pat in the locker room up there. It was a pretty cool moment for hopefully greatness to recognize greatness. Pat Bryant literally broke down the team afterwards with 9 wins, said let's try to get to 10. So it kind of shows you where his mindset is. I think this is a team that really enjoys the success, being around each other, and I'm excited for what the future can be. Not just right now, but I'm telling you, fellas, we got a really young football team. We're one of the youngest teams in the Power Four. The core of our football team, when I make my 64 or my 74-man travel roster, it's all basically sophomores and juniors who will turn into juniors and seniors next year. To me, as a head coach, that's very exciting.
We'll finish with Steve here.
First of all, how does Florida sound on an 18-degree day? And
Yeah.
then, you missed that last Rose Bowl at Wisconsin. You got a chance to go for a 10th win. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a New Year's Day, our New Year's Eve game against a banner program from the SEC. Is this sort of the biggest moment maybe that you've had since last time you coached in the Rose Bowl as a head coach?
Yeah, well, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, this is big. I felt it all week. I knew when we were coming out of that second bye week, if we could put together 3 weeks and get to 9 wins, it'd be pretty awesome. Today was a little chilly. It's the first time I've worn socks, I think, since Russell Wilson's wedding, if I'm not mistaken. So it was like, I don't wear socks very often. I threw them on today. My little toes were numb walking in the building. So I think for our players, obviously we got to go to the Rely Quest a couple years ago, but I think to know how close they were, I really kind of made that statement to them on Sunday to try and leave no doubt that you were right on the cusp of being a top 15 team, and unfortunately we didn't do enough to get to that point, maybe from the perspective of the outside world, but I know when people throw on our film, they will see how we play, and that to me speaks volumes. I've kind of had my moment. I appreciate the question, but I want Illinois to feel what Illinois should feel, right? This isn't a mistake. It didn't happen by chance. This happened through a lot of really hard work and a lot of really good dedication to not just people in the Smith Center, but people in the Department of Athletics, Chancellor Jones, all kinds of people that have made Illinois, and our fans too, man. I'm serious. We had a Michigan game this year for the first time since I've been here. We had a home field advantage, right? And that team that we beat pretty handedly just went and beat Ohio State. So to win in this conference, to be a team that we potentially be in the top 5 of a new 18-team league, to say that Illinois is there, I think is a pretty big ass statement.
Thank you, guys.